Hi guys, it's Oscrix. Today I wanted to make a video updating my Merc support character. So I'm AURABOTing and linking with a Mercenary carry. I've switched from using Eyeshot to using Lightning Arrow, but I experimented with Burning Arrow and Barrage and Kinetic Blast, and all of those are really good too. Lots of different mercenaries that you can play with this character setup. Since my last video, I switched a couple things, got an Aegis instead of a Dawnbreaker, got a Watcher's Eye that converts my stuff a little bit better. Yeah, a couple of minor things here and there, which I'm going to talk more in detail in a little bit. But first, I just want to say generally, I think this character is extremely strong. I wouldn't really say that it's like a boss killer per se, but it does have a lot of single target DPS. And the ceiling of the single target DPS is such a question mark to me because it's so heavily dependent on your mercenaries AI and like what skills they use. So I know for certain I definitely have not found the perfect mercenary with the best DPS setup, right? So so far so good, and I'm gonna keep hunting for mercenaries, popping maps in, looking for better setup ones, and experimenting with those. And I'll keep you guys updated on that. But for now, let me talk a little more in detail about what's changed since the last video. Okay, so now I'm going to go over what's changed for the character. Before I do that, I'm going to briefly recap what this character is for everybody who's seeing it for the first time. So the combination that's at play here is I'm wearing the Doriani's prototype with negative 197 resist is what I currently have on Lightning. So everything around me has negative 197 resist. And then my Mercenary is wearing the Admiral, which makes it so elemental damage you deal with hits is resisted by the lowest elemental resistance instead. So this means that all elemental damage they do, including cold, lightning, and fire, is resisted against the target's lowest resist, which in this case is negative 197 set by Doriani's. So all elemental damage is resisted against negative 197. So insane amount of damage. And then the second thing is using Destructive Link to link with the Mercenary to give it 100% crit chance and some crit multi. And that combined with Maralene's Fallacy means that it can have a ton of crit multi with 100% crit chance. Yeah, so that's how all the damage kind of comes together on this character. So the Mercenary's gear. First, let's start out with the Mercenary in general. I stopped using Eyeshot. Let me move my camera out of the way too. My camera's in the way of the of the skills and stuff. So I stopped using the Eyeshot Merc. I experimented with the Flame or Burning Arrow Merc because it had Pierce All in return and Arrow Nova, and it worked really well. I experimented with the Eyeshot Merc. I got a couple different ones, and that worked really well. In the end, I found that this one with Lightning Arrow and Arrow Nova, Return, Fork, this one just cleared crazy well. And Lightning Arrow has really good inherent properties for clearing. Plus, this one has Assassin's Mark, which is really nice. I have a +1 Curse Maralene, so that way I can get Assassin's Mark plus Sniper's Mark from me. And it also has Trarthan Agility, which is the Flow Untethered action speed aura buff. So yeah, this Merc gets free action speed and Wrath. It seems like it has pretty good behavior. I think Galvanic Arrow does really little damage compared to Lightning Arrow. And it seems kind of random what it chooses between Lightning and Galvanic. So maybe there's a better setup that will spam Lightning Arrow instead of Galvanic. Or, maybe there's just a better Mercenary than this. But anyways, this is what I'm using right now. The other things that have changed since my last video, I kind of finished crafting my quiver. It's got LE prefixes, crit multi, and crit chance for Frenzy Charge. It also could use attack speed, but I don't have that yet. Like I said, I got a +1 Curse Maralene's for the Assassin's Mark. I'm wearing the Fledgling now instead of Heat Shiver. This gives a bunch of Pierce up close and Far Shot multiplier, which is up to 60% more damage, which happens a lot when the projectiles return. It also gives projectile speed and projectile damage, so extremely, extremely strong helmet for the Mercenary. Still double taming. I'm wearing Bubonic Trails now instead of the rare boots I was wearing before. And it's just for the Abyss sockets. So in the Abyss sockets, I've got jewels that have a bunch of flat damage, and another good mod that you can get is attack speed if you dealt a crit recently. Here's another one that just has a ton of flat damage to bows. You just want as much elemental damage to bows as you possibly can get, and crit multi and attack speed could be good too. Same thing in here, so I've got a Darkness Enthroned in the belt slot. I was using Headhunter before, but I found that Headhunter really wasn't necessary. and occasionally it bugs out your Mercenary when it steals Frostwalker, the Fleeing Frostwalker rare monster buff, so I got rid of it, replaced it with Darkness Enthroned because you can just get a ton of flat damage and like attack speed with crits, as you can see here. This one has accuracy too, which is kind of nice. But yeah, you can get these like 5 to 6 mod Abyss Jewels and just get a ton of flat damage for the Mercenary. A lot of character power. And then in the gloves, those have changed a little bit. They've got attack speed, flat damage, crit, uh, elemental damage if you crit recently, and an abyssal socket. The abyssal socket with, yet again, another jewel with flat elemental damage in it. And the bow is the same as before, I'm pretty sure. Just to try flat LE prefixes, crit multi, attack speed. This could also use like chance to deal double damage or something like that as its 6th suffix. But that's all the Merc's gear. Basically, I found when I was trying out all the different mercenaries that I could pick up, it needs return. If it's going to be a bow character, it needs return 100%. And then the second thing it needs is some form of multiple projectiles. To me, it seemed like Aeronova and just regular GMP both work fine, but it at least needs one of those, or it's going to not really feel very good to play. So now let's talk a bit about my gear and how that's changed. So the biggest thing is I'm not wearing Dawnbreaker anymore. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I have this Watcher's Eye that converts cold and lightning to fire and fire and lightning to cold while affected by purity of fire and ice. So that means that I'm converting nearly 90% of lightning to an element that's not lightning, as long as I have that enabled, and purity of fire and purity of ice, which I have in the build now. And because of that, I was able to drop Dawnbreaker and get Aegis Aurora, which works really nicely with this too, because now you're converting stuff to cold damage. So now, with my flask up, well, without my flask, I'm 8590. With my fire flask, I'm 9090, 197. So super nice resist to have. Yeah. If I had like a Mage Blood, then you could do even more degenerate stuff with this, right? But don't have that yet. I'm not that rich, but I definitely have spent a lot of money on the character. I got rid of my wand and I replaced it with Augire. The reason why I replaced it with Augire, number one, is it has way lower int requirement than a wand. So easier on the stats. You can like tattoo your stats or, you know, have less on your gear and everything like that. Another thing that you could do wearing Augire is you can smite for flat damage. I guess that if I was to add it to my build right now, I'd get rid of like shield charge and put in smite, and maybe that would be like good for some content where you don't want to use shield charge. But in general, you know, I want to move around, and the sockets are quite tight on this build. There's not a lot of room to cut stuff out of it, unfortunately. But yeah, I got Augire. That works really well. Same amount of crit, less stat requirement. And then I made this ring. So this is the baby version of what I want to make. But I made the baby version because it's basically guaranteed, right? It's a helical ring, and it's been reflecting misted, so it has negative lightning res and positive life. Ideally, you'd want to have, you know, another 1 to 2 additional positive doubled mods on here. But because I'm pretty poor right now, and this is like all of my money just to make one, I made this one for now. So this one has 189 minus 134. Unfortunately, it rolled pretty low. This can roll up to like 220-ish life and like 150 to 160 at the top end, negative lightning res. So this one rolled kind of low. And I've got a Calandra's Touch to copy it for now. But yeah, I would like to get one that's like plus 200 something life, minus 140 to 50 lightning, and like maybe plus a bunch of all attributes or any other kind of stat that would alleviate suffix or suffix pressure from the build. So that's good. That getting this additional lightning res here sets me to negative 197, so only 3 under the cap that I need. I changed Purity of Elements to be level 1, so that way I get less lightning resist from it overall, and no quality as well. Just so it's just here to get immune to elements for you and your mercs and your minions and stuff like that. I think other than that, on the gear... Oh yeah, the rare gear has changed. I got better rares with Suppress. Crit chance for attacks on here, so that increases your destructive link crit that you're giving your minion, or not your minion, your merc. And yeah, I've got another life suppress. I've got mana res on this now. This taken as reduced mana cost of attacks for shield charge is kind of relevant, or I guess AoE is probably a better thing to get here. I haven't put AoE on there. And good old Doriani's prototype. It would be really nice to corrupt one of these to get 50 crit reduction. If I got that, that would actually save me 4 points, because I'm spending 4 points right here to get 50 crit reduction. So yeah, getting one of these with 50 crit reduction would save me 4 points. That would be really strong, but don't have one of those. Got my same belt as before, life, chaos, res, and that's about it. Blasts are the same, crit chance, so that way your destructive link gives your Merc more crit. Armor, move speed, and ruby flask for your fire res. So then the skill tree, this is what's changed in the skill tree. The pathing's changed a little bit. You can see all the specifics of that in the POB in the description. But the big things here is I dropped one of the mana res jewels to get Enduring Composure, which I think is pretty necessary. Gain 1 endurance charge every second that you've been hit recently. Yeah, you always want endurance charges in this game now, so this is a no-brainer, I think. And since I'm Aegis now, I'm going Glancing Blows and getting some block. So I just have enough block to recover against multi-hits while mapping mostly, and like, you know, things that are going to shotgun you. I don't have like cap block even. It's just here to give me recovery with Aegis pretty much. And then over here, I've got now a Thread of Hope Massive. So this is nice because it also gives negative lightning resist, so it helps you get your Dorianis lower. And it's in a really interesting spot. It lets me path here and take these and not have to take these travel nodes, which is nice. But there's a bunch of stuff on this ring that's actually really good. So here you get 10% life and some strength. Here you get 5% move speed and 30% avoid stun, which is pretty nice. Here you get 5% move speed and 20% crit for attacks, which is relevant for a destructive link. Here you get 6% move speed and 10% suppress. And there's another 2 nodes I could take here eventually for 3% move speed and 3% suppress. So you can see here, this jewel alone, after I take these 2 nodes, what does it give me? It gives me 5 here, 5 here makes 10, 6 here makes 16, and another 6 makes 22 move speed from just this cluster, which is pretty crazy. You can also click this for 1 point for 40% crit chance too, also relevant. So there's a bunch of really good stuff on this massive wheel that you would that you are happy to take, and it gives you negative resist, so it's a win-win. Really, really nice for the build. And I'm getting stun immune from this plus some tattoos, so 30 here, 40, 50, 60, and then I've got a murder psi with 25 for 85, and then I've got another murder psi with 21, so over 100% stun avoidance, so stun immune. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's all that's really changed. I think I've gone over it. The Watcher's Eye was the thing I went over initially, I think, and that's what's allowed me to do the whole Aegis thing. Eventually, so here's the next steps for me. Eventually, I need to come up here and take this jewel socket and put in a Green Nightmare, and that'll give me like 20 something. It's like the top end of 20. Maybe it's 30 suppress. I forget how much it is. Maybe it's like 28 suppress. But right now I'm at what am I at? 69. Nice. 69 spell suppression chance. I could take these 2 nice nodes for another 6. Puts me at 75, and then yeah, this Green Nightmare right here will probably 100% cap my spell suppress. So that's probably the next thing for me, and especially like wanting to boss and everything like that. Got to do that. Forgot to mention this, but I'm back adding this to the video. The other thing that really annoyed me with my build is my specters. This has always annoyed me playing with specters. They die. It just happens. Even if you spend like 10 to 15 passive points trying to make them not die, they're still gonna die. Especially when you're doing tier 17s and bosses and stuff, they just die. And you want to use the good specters that cost money from Ritual. But, you know, when they die, it's quite annoying. There's a big part of me that just wants me to take them out of the build. But they are a lot of character power. And for me, more importantly, they give you endurance charges. And, you know, they also give your minions endurance charges. So they kind of like, that one in particular, the perfect, what is it, the Warlord. I really don't want to get rid of that. Or Onslaught. They're really good. So it's kind of worth the annoying stuff. But honestly, just bringing them into the boss arena, at least one of them, if not both of them, is going to die probably. So yeah, it's annoying. To try and counteract that, I got rid of my +1 Spectre and I replaced it with Grave Intentions for minions gain 20% life as ES, which is a pretty good amount of EHP. But even with that, they still die. Like, doing like the fortress boss and stuff like that, occasionally they'll just get one shot. It's really annoying. So, especially if you're doing like hard map mods, they die a lot. So yeah, like I said, you could probably just get rid of them and replace them with like Smite or something like that, and get like some amount of character power, and just not bother with them. Um, if you're annoyed by them, yeah, that's what I'd probably do, and I might end up doing that. But yeah, other than that, I think I've remembered everything now. Thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. I hope you guys have a great time, and if you're playing the build, let me know how it goes. If you find a good mercenary, let me know. I'm going to be trying out a lot of them. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. The next update of this character should be pretty sweet. Later!